to learn the drills. Students will be coached on everything from individual and buddy team movement to proper execution of assault drills. In short, today you will be learning about three things. First, the difference between hasty and deliberate attacks. Second, the stages of an attack. And third, how to conduct a hasty attack. The reason that you're learning this, and the reason that this is based on the hasty squad attack, is because that is the one battle drill you will carry out in absolutely every operation, the attack. We focus on the hasty attack because if you can carry out a hasty attack, you can definitely execute a deliberate attack. So, with all of that, as with all courses, by the end of this course you will not be experts, but you will have been taught and practiced the drills. Continued practice in SPs and FTXs and on TAC 2 is essential to developing your efficiency and skill. So let's dive right in, talk a little bit about the hasty attack. A hasty attack is a rapid attack using the resources available as you move into the area. It is generally a course of action used after an unexpected contact with the enemy and is chosen due to considerations such as maintaining momentum in the advance, the ability to quickly exploit weaknesses in the enemy's position, and/or preventing the enemy from having time to reinforce. A deliberate attack, in contrast, is a pre-planned, coordinated employment of firepower and maneuver onto an objective. We generally have good intelligence on the objective, provided through prior reconnaissance, and the objective is usually too large, too well defended, or has no readily identifiable exposed flanks or weaknesses for a hasty attack to be used. The deliberate attack features a well-coordinated combined arms attack, utilizing all weapons platforms available in the AO in order to create weaknesses that can be exploited as part of the plan. This is what we most often do in operations. So we have our hasty attack, and then by extension of that definition, our deliberate attack. Well, there's a couple of scenarios when we might be using those. The first is going to be that we see the enemy first, and they don't see us. That way we have the element of surprise. The second scenario is that they see us first and engage us. When we see the enemy first, we conduct our react to contact drill. That is, drop, move to cover, call out your 3Ds, that's distance, description, direction, but do not engage. You don't want to give away the advantage of surprise and limit our ability to engage the enemy on our own terms. On the other hand, when they see us first and engage us, we carry out our react to contact drill and immediately attempt to win the firefight. And that might raise the question, what does it mean to win the firefight? The firefight is the initial engagement with the enemy. Fire superiority is key to winning the firefight. When the lead fire team is in contact, they must achieve fire superiority to allow the trailing elements time and cover to maneuver. Fire superiority, simply put, means getting more bullets downrange effectively than the enemy is returning. This will keep their heads down. This means at the start of an engagement, we will use the rapid fire rate. As we suppress or kill the enemy, their fire will start to slack off. We then adjust down to the sustained fire rate. When the fire has fallen off almost completely, we adjust to scan and shoot. This process is winning the firefight. So, we know that we have two types of attacks, our hasty attack and our deliberate attack. We know that the two scenarios we've got one, surprise on the enemy, we've seen them and they haven't seen us, or two, that they've already seen us. And we know that at the end of either of those, our goal is to win the firefight. So, let's talk a little bit with all of those pieces together about the stages of the hasty attack. There's 4 different stages. They are the react to contact, second, to suppress the enemy, third, the actual attack, and fourth, to consolidate and reorganize. Every single hasty attack on the enemy will have these steps in it. So first, react to contact. This stage is our initial actions on contacting the enemy, whether we see them or we take fire. You conduct your react to contact drill, which is drop, move to cover, return fire if appropriate, and call out your 3Ds. That's your distance, description, direction. Second, you must suppress the enemy. Once in direct contact, we must immediately suppress the enemy and attempt to win the firefight. We use M320 smoke to obscure the enemy and prioritize the destruction of crew-served weapons and machine guns first. At the same time, the SL is going to move forward and determine the next course of action. Third, the attack. One team will provide supporting fire for the attack, while the other team moves to an assault position near the objective, using cover and concealment to mount a final assault and clear the objective. You always, during the attack, have one team supporting by fire, the SBF element, and you have another team that's actually conducting the assault. That is the assaulting element. Fourth, once you've finished your attack, you need to consolidate and reorganize. When the attack has successfully neutralized the objective, the squad must consolidate and reorganize. This is commonly known as reorging. This simply means getting the squad all back in one place, dealing with casualties, redistributing weapons and ammunition, taking an inventory of all of those things as required so you can continue on with the mission. All hasty attacks that we conduct will follow these 4 steps, and it's easiest just to jump right in and do a little walkthrough, a nice dry fire run of exactly what it looks like to us on the ground. So that there is going to conclude our classroom portion, so we can immediately here jump in and see exactly what this is that we've been talking about in the field. Before we jump out into the field to see how this works in those 4 stages, does anybody have any questions over our classroom material? Alrighty, with that said, Specialist Archer, would you kindly inform the class of the 3 Ds? What are they?
Distance, direction.
Beautiful. And that's going to come out of your mouth every single time you chime up on the radio. Specialist Dunn, might you inform us of the difference between a hasty attack and a deliberate attack?
A deliberate attack is one that's planned beforehand and is usually done in order to generally against a target that is stronger in defense, and you need to create that weakness using firepower. And hasty attack is faster, and generally you don't have enough time to plan, so you exploit whatever you can.
Textbook. Perfect. Alrighty, seems like we got a pretty good feel on things, so with all of that said, assuming we've got no other questions, please take the teleport flagpole here to AIT FTX 1.
Seaman?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you see that barrier up there?
No, nothing to worry about, there's no barrier. It's
where
it's all a mind trick.
Alright, Alpha on me.
Beautiful. For the purpose of today's class, we're just going to be on standard radio frequency, block 1, channel 1. I'll use it here and there as we move. I'd like to remind everybody, this is a dry run section here, so you're not going to be discharging your firearms. We're just going to kind of go ahead and walk through what exactly happens when we encounter the enemy. So in this scenario, we are just patrolling out in the middle of nowhere, and we might ourselves stumble upon a contact. When that happens, remember, the very first thing that happens, whoever sees it first, calls out over the radio, contact with your 3Ds. So, with that said, Alpha, you want to go ahead and take us out in a squad column south-southeast?
Copy. South-southeast?
Yeah, the direction of the start marker.
Yeah, seen. Alpha on me, wedge heavy right.
Alright, Bravo, once Alpha steps off, we're gonna do wedge heavy left. Oh, I got 2 ARs. Sweet. And away we go.
Heavy which side, Geki?
Heavy left.
Do you want me on this side?
Let's see, I got 2 ARs, so yeah, just go on my right side. If you see something, say something, fellas.
Contact, roadblock straight ahead, 200 meters.
Contact roadblock, straight ahead, 200 meters.
Alrighty, Alpha, go ahead and hit the dirt. Bravo, go ahead and pull your guys up a little bit so you're within earshot of SL.
Bravo, we're moving forward a tad.
Alright, so, Alpha, you want to pull it back a little bit, northwest?
Copy. Alpha on EP, moving northwest.
Alrighty, folks. So Bravo, in this situation, you guys are in the back, and so from this moment, ahead of you, where you can't see, Alpha has called out a contact. So your job becomes rear security at that point. You're not looking at the contact, Alpha's got eyes on it. Good to go. So, there we go. Let's get a gag with Bravo over here, and Alpha's in a nice little spot. Just come down the hill a little bit, Bravo.
Copy that. Bravo, moving down the hill.
Awesome. So now, with everybody in earshot, now that we have seen the enemy, this is where we're going to conduct our react to contact drill. Contact has been called, so in that case, what that's going to mean is first, soldiers in the fire team that's in contact, in that case, this is Alpha, are going to move up online while staying in formations to positions from which they can fire their weapons as required. So Alpha was a little forward, and they've moved themselves a little bit back to a slightly comfier spot. They're going to report out the contact, which they did over the radio, and going to continue to scout it out with the FTL. Second, the rear fire team, not in contact, which is Bravo in this case, is going to move to covered and concealed positions where they can provide security to the rear and flank. So Bravo, being in that little ravine over there, you guys have nice views around the surrounding area. So once everybody's got security, the SL is going to move up to the front fire team that's in contact so that the SL can create a plan and see exactly what's going on here. So, when the SL moves up and sees the situation here and surveys what's going on, he knows that there's several things that we need in order to execute a successful squad attack. The first thing we need is a support by fire position that one team will be designated to occupy. The SBF element provides overwatch, suppression, and security. If you open up your maps real quick and you reference the southeast, you should be able to see where we are here, near AIT FTX-1. On the map, you can see the SBF marker, so we've got that. The second thing we need is an objective rally point. The ORP is a location the squad can fall back to either after the attack or if rallying in response to an ambush, IDF, or other enemy action. Often, the ORP is used as a staging area where the SBF and assault elements organize prior to occupying their positions. So, in this context, I might go ahead and mark an ORP right back there. We'll call it ORP. And so that position is kind of a nice fallback point if we have any issues. The third thing that we're going to need is a covered and concealed route for the assault element to take to approach the objective. And to the south here, beneath SBF, you can kind of see, if you have taken BLN, you should recognize this lovely little ravine here, which we'll have better eyes on shortly. Fourth, we need an assault position, an actual position from which the assaulting element can move on to the objective. That's marked on the map here. We have our lovely route to it there, I've just put a line on. And lastly, we're going to need a limit of advance. The assaulting element that's actually moving on to the objective needs to know when to stop advancing. They stop advancing at the limit of advance, which I've marked there with a black line. So once we have those 5 things together, we're ready to go ahead and implement our strategy. So with all of those things together, the SL here with Alpha, who is in contact, can maneuver our fire teams as appropriate to each position. So with that said, let's go ahead and all of us move down to the SBF position so that we can see what whichever team is going to be designated for that, probably Bravo in this case, sees when they get there. So Alpha Bravo, let's get a tactical gaggle down the hill on SBF.
Alpha Bravo moving to position, building southwest.
So the SL is going to decide how best to maneuver. You're usually going to backtrack a little bit to prevent from being seen by the enemy. To make things simple here, we just walk straight here. So, while we're standing here on SBF, let's talk a little bit about what an SBF is. The SBF position should have the following characteristics. First, it should have good fields of fire onto the objective, which you can clearly see here. Second, it should have a good overwatch over the movement of the assaulting element as it moves to the assaulting position. From here, we can see that ravine we saw on the map, running along the road to our south. There. We've got good field of vision onto that. The third thing we need is to have a good view of the surrounding area and likely routes of enemy advance into the area. From this position, I hope you can all see, we have excellent view down the road, both to the southwest and the northeast. We have eyes to our rear, to the northwest. We have the hill to the northeast, and a very healthy view of the objective and everything around it. This position here gives us excellent overwatch over the area. The last thing, fourth, that we're going to want out of our SBF position is for it to be within range of the most effective weapons platforms that the squad is carrying at that time. In most cases, especially in Charlie Co., this is going to mean our 40 Mike grenade launchers. Those have a maximum range of about 350 meters. You can push it if you need to, but with that, the SBF should really be within about 400, 350 meters of the objective, which, in this case, we most certainly are. So those are the four things that we need at our SBF position. Good fields of fire onto the objective, overwatch over the assaulting element as it moves to the AP, good view of the surrounding area, and to be in range of the objective. So now that we understand what the SBF position should have, what are the responsibilities of the SBF element that's occupying it? The first and foremost job of the SBF element is overwatch. The assaulting element moves to the assaulting position using a covered and concealed route. This likely means that they do not have good visibility onto the surrounding terrain. We'll see in a moment when we're over in that ravine, you can't see anything when you're inside of it. By definition, you're trying to sneak up on the objective. So it's the SBF that has the responsibility of overwatch over the surrounding area. The second job of the SBF, once the assault actually kicks off, is suppression. At a pre-planned time, the SBF element engages the objective with maximum violence, utilizing a high rate of fire and hitting priority targets first with the most effective munitions types. Their primary objective is to quickly neutralize enemy forces by killing or wounding them, or forcing them to seek cover or retreat. A secondary objective is to focus the enemy's attention on the SBF so that the assaulting element comes as a surprise. Think about it. If you're sitting there at the roadblock and you suddenly take a massive amount of fire from the northwest here, you're not going to be paying attention to the assaulting point, which is about 20 meters off of the ravine right there. So you can get snuck up on a lot easier. Remember also that suppression does not require you to have perfect fields of view onto every part of the objective. You see here that tree line partially obscures the objective, but your job as the SBF is not to neutralize the targets. Your job is to provide suppression. Your job is to open up on the target with maximum violence, and even though you can't see all of it from here, you can see enough of it to suppress it effectively. The third job, after first overwatch and second suppression, once you've lifted your fire and the assaulting element is moving on, is security. Keep in mind that the SBF will lift or shift fire when the assaulting element gets close to the objective to avoid friendly fire. And once your guys are on the objective's their job. the assaulting element can take it away. And so you don't need to be watching them anymore. You need to be watching the entire surrounding area. Your job is security, because if that BTR starts rolling up down the road from the southwest, it's not the assaulting element who needs to see it first. That's your job, because you are taking over security. With that said, it's important to mention a very useful element of the fire team leader's arsenal when trying to get their guys correctly onto target, and that is a process called christening the ground. Christening the ground is a process used by FTLs and SLs when moving in the defense, at ambushes, OPs, and, in this case, at the SBF. The SL or FTL will identify easily recognizable terrain or man-made features throughout the area. These will be used as quick references when calling out the 3Ds. When setting up at the SBF, the FTL will identify TRPs, which are target reference points in the surrounding area, paying particular attention to likely routes of enemy advance. Gotcha, Geki. So the FTL might say to a trooper, I say over to... Is Green handy?
I'm here, yeah?
Oh, you're right in front of me. So the SL might say to fire team leader there, left of the objective, on the hilltop, wind turbines. Seen?
Seen?
At this point, I pull out my handy-dandy binocs, which are not a rangefinder. If they were, I might say, distance, 850 meters.
Seen, but closer to 814.
Alrighty. So wind turbines are now, we know that direction on the top of the hill there, and we know the range of it, 814. So you can get your eyes on it nice and easy. The utility of this, if you've got a little bit of time to sit here at the SBF, you can be setting up several of those. Your fire team leader should be setting up multiple target reference points. He might pick something down the road that's easily identifiable. Houses with unusual color schemes, man-made features like radio towers or wind turbines are all fair game. The point here is that it's something you can call out during a contact report. Say an infantry squad were to round the hill over next to those wind turbines. Instead of having to go through the full call-out of contact, infantry, south, southeast, 800 meters, top of the hill, which is clunky and doesn't necessarily get people's eyes on it immediately, you can instead call out contact, infantry, wind turbines. And boom, everybody already knows how far away they are, where they are, and can get their eyes on it nice and fast. So remember the importance of target reference points. So, bringing all of that together, let's talk about the sequence of events at the SBF. We know the job of the SBF element, we know what the SBF position is going to need, and we know a little bit about christening the ground. So how does all of that come together? Well, first, the FTL is going to position all members of the team, ensuring that the rifleman is watching the rear. That's important. Remember that your job is overwatch first, and so you need to have a guy watching the rear. And the rifleman is selected because he's the one with the least firepower on his own. Members will dig in without giving away their position to the enemy. Second, the FTL will christen the ground for all members, creating target reference points, like our wind turbines there. Third, he will identify initial targets and fire orders for the machine gun, AT, and 40 mic grenade launchers and provide ranges to the targets. In this stage, he's going to say, AR, reference, left of the objective, machine gun bunker, 400 meters. And at that point, he's going to tell him that I want you to open up on that once we engage once we start the engagement. And so the AR knows the distance to what target he's hitting, he knows what he's shooting at when they open up, and the FTL is going to go around to every single person and make sure everyone has something to shoot at once the shooting starts. Fourth, when ordered, the SBF will open fire on the enemy at the rapid rate. That's very important to use the rapid rate. Your job is suppression here, to kill or suppress the enemy positions. Fifth, when ordered, the assault element is close enough to the objective that friendly fire becomes likely. The SBF will be ordered to lift fire. Once fire has been lifted, sixth, the SBF refocuses their attention to the surrounding areas, looking for signs of other enemy elements moving into the area in response to the attack. Seventh, when the assault is completed, the squad or unit will be ordered to reorganize at the designated RP. After the assault, the RP may be the ORP, it may be the SBF position, it may be the actual objective. You need to be flexible for whatever your squad leader might throw at you because he's the one who knows what you're going to be doing afterwards, and he'll get you on your way. So, with all of that said, that wraps up our commentary on the SBF position. But one thing I'd like to go ahead and point out to our troopers really quick. Those of you who might become fire team leaders in the reasonable future may be wondering the sorts of places you ought to put your guys when you're at a position like this. We already mentioned your riflemen should be facing the rear unless they're actually engaging the objective. Well, here's one other thing to consider. If my students would kindly enter this building for me. So one thing I want you to keep in mind as you enter this building is what your job is as the SBF. First and foremost, it's overwatch of the surrounding area. You need to be able to see what's around you. And you also want wide fields of fire. What should be immediately obvious to all of you as you look through the windows here is that being in a building drastically reduces your situational awareness of the area around you. You don't have good fields of fire onto the surrounding area, and you have minimal concealment from the actual position. If everyone wants to come outside of the building real quick. Recall that one of your other jobs is to distract the enemy position on the objective so that the assaulting element comes as a surprise. Keep in mind that if fire starts coming from the northwest, one of the first things that the objective over there is going to open up on is this building right here. So there may be times you want to throw people in buildings, but remember it's a bullet magnet that can reduce your situational awareness in certain occasions. Vex, question?
So you sort of answered my question by saying bullet magnet, but what about if the situation, obviously, let's take your scenario for example. What about putting people on the roof of a building that has the capabilities of getting onto?
It's going to be kind of situational. In this case, if somebody starts shooting at this building, then getting off of the back of it can be a little bit finicky. Of course, there's also Arma bugs to consider. It's pretty easy to get yourself injured getting off of a building. So unless it really gives you a powerful advantage in line of sight or something like that, the rule of thumb would probably be to ignore that kind of thing, or to not do it. Unless it really provides an advantage. An exception to that, of course, if you're in a mount kind of focused area, you got a lot of buildings around. It can be useful. Definitely value Geki Green's input.
Yep. So one thing to think about too is all buildings can be reduced to rubble. Well, just about all buildings can be reduced to rubble. The last thing you really want to have happen is for you to have guys in that building, and the enemy decides to put a few HADP rounds onto that building. Next thing you know, your entire fire team is gone. So buildings are useful for strong pointing objectives and being in a garrison if you're in something like a city. However, in most instances, such as this rural outpost here, if any of those guys got AT down there, their first instinct is going to be to reduce this building. So that's always stuff to think about too.
Beautiful. Green, did you have something to say as well?
Yeah, regarding getting on roofs, because I've seen it a lot after the introduction of the advanced movement. And lots of people like to think that a high vantage point is a good way to eliminate the enemy. What you got to consider is when you're up on a roof, not only is getting down tricky, but also roofs often, especially flat ones, provide minimal cover. You're exposed to all kinds of things that are usually exposed on the outside, such as, IDF, grenades that may have shrapnel. You can still get hit from everything, and the really tricky thing about roofs is if your only way up, or if it's a type of building where you can only go one way up and one way down, the enemy can quickly trap you on the roof, because going down can sometimes be, like Seaman said, tricky, and once you're trapped on a roof, it's game over. So unless the situation really calls for it, stay away from roofs at all costs.
Absolutely. So, all of that said, I think that we all have a pretty good functional idea of the SBF element and the position and everything you need to do here. So, to make time nice and fast, let's go ahead and form a squad line, move due south into the ravine there so we can see what it looks like from the assaulting element's perspective. Alpha, you want to take the front?
Sure. Alpha on me. Sorry, south?
Yep, due south. Squad line.
Alright, on me. Line.
Correction, file. Squad file.
Squad fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say, squad fire on me.
Alright, let's take it out into let's do a fire team staggered column. Yeah, let's rack your guys' brains a little bit.
Shut up, Geki.
For those of you who didn't know immediately, lines are shoulder to shoulder, files are front to back.
This is what I'd call a line in the UK, though.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
My face when he calls staggered column.
Moment when he calls tactical rhombus.
So,
Oh, that was some BIT memes right there.
Yes.
Hello there, Geki stream.
I don't really know if there's much of a
Cancer.
difference. Fire team column, fire team file.
Files more compressed.
Specifically Garrett.
In the field manual is not
Here you are.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So
Or
let's
at
go
least
shift
in
these,
Arma's-
shift these.
In terms
shift
of
and ease.
Arma AI,
Shifting
files
Weast.
were compressed.
Gotcha. Thanks for that.
If it's different in real life, I don't know.
So since Bravo was our trailing element originally, they're the ones that probably would have been at the SBF marker. Alpha would have backtracked a little bit of a ways and made their way nice and sneaky-breaky into this ravine so that they weren't as easily seen. So when we get to the edge here, Alpha is going to go ahead and get in position at the assaulting point with Bravo up on the hill with me so we can talk through what's going to happen here.
Totally forgot that radios were
One
loud
thing to
as hell
notice
for me.
is you have very poor visibility on the surrounding area. Alrighty, Bravo up here with me. Alpha, just keep that position. Great. So, the assaulting element is going to move towards the assaulting position, which we just did, using a covered and concealed route. If the route to the AP is hilly, then the assault element might drop their packs to ensure they have stamina, but this is usually very discourageable. Dropping packs is the sort of thing that always ends up causing equipment issues, and inevitably you won't be able to return to your packs, so it's the sort of thing that's generally not the sort of thing I would recommend. Once the SBF element opens up on the enemy is, of course, alerted, and the key now is to get the attack in and done as fast as possible, as enemy reinforcements or other units in the local area will start moving towards the objective. So now that we're at the assaulting position, this means that we're going to form into a shallow line, divide the objective up into buddy or fire teams. In this case, Alpha down there is going to kind of slice it up as they see fit. It's usually done pretty ad hoc at the end. You're going to prepare smokes if dashing across open ground, and frags if you're in range of the objective, and move up. So one important thing here to go over is that there's going to be two scenarios that the assaulting element is going to go through. The first is that they're attacking across open ground, and the second is they're attacking from cover and concealment. In this case, we have some beautiful cover and concealment. The entire route here was nice and concealed, and they're on the little small bluff of this hill, well within frag range with good cover before they get there. So, in this case, they can go ahead and switch straight to their frags and throw them over the top. But remember, it's not always this clean. You will have to experience moving over open ground in order to get from your assault point to the objective. In those scenarios, remember the utility of smoke grenades. And also remember it takes a while for the smoke to deploy. Once you toss your smoke, you need to wait 5, 6, 7 seconds at least for that smoke screen to actually deploy and be of use to you as concealment. So if you're going across open ground, use smoke to cover your movement, and use the rush by buddy teams method to cover as much ground as you can. Once you actually get to the objective, switch to your frags and be ready to throw them over before pushing up. So, with that said, if Alpha would like to go ahead and conduct a dry fire run, we say, Bravo, open fire on the objective. Bravo is kapow, kachoo, kachoo, pow, 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 fragada, fragada, fragada. Bravo, lift fire. Alpha move in. And so Alpha gets ready there.
Line formation southwest. Frags out.
Boom.
Boom, boom, boom!
Boom.
And we roll in.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
This guy out.
Bang, bang.
Pew pew.
Alpha, remember you continue to the limit of advance. They clear through the objective.
Alpha continue.
Beautiful. Alpha hits the limit of advance. Once they do, an important thing to note here. Oftentimes, you will be taking entrenched or fortified enemy positions. The nice thing about the enemy doing that is that once you've cleared through them, you can now make use of their fortifications. So Alpha at this point would fold back in onto the objective and create security so that Bravo can make their way from the SBF over here. At this point, we consolidate and reorganize. This is going to be that final phase we were talking about. So I'm going to get ace reports from fire team leaders, get our mag swapped over, reinforced, nice and simple, so that we can move on to the next one. So that's how every single hasty attack is going to look from start to finish. We went through it nice and slow there. I think that all of you've got a good idea on it, so unless anybody has any questions. Question for Maury?
Yes, what is the squad leader in all this? Is staying in the SSV position or assaulting one?
It can vary a little bit. It's going to be a lot at the discretion of the section leader, you know, where he wants to end up being in the assault. If the assaulting element is light on guys, he might try to, you know, flesh out their ranks a little bit, but he may be with the AP, he may be with the assaulting element, he may be with the SBF. It's whatever the situation tends to call for. SBF is often the safer choice. Green, thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say the safety criteria. While it's nice to have another rifle in the assault team, always consider that the SL isn't just another guy with a rifle on the battlefield. He's a soldier on the battlefield with 1, experience, and 2, direct link to other elements in the vicinity. So if you're in a SL and you find yourself in a situation where you have an SBF and an assault element, unless you absolutely need to go with the assault element for whatever reasons, try to stick with the supporting element, just because if you go down and if you take a hit, the entire element may start to suffer from it. So that's just a thing to consider.
Absolutely. Any other questions before we move on? Alright, fantastic. So we ran through that nice and slow, explained everything as we went along. So we're going to go ahead and do one more live fire dry run. We won't actually have hostile targets, but we will be conducting this as a live fire run, going through it all the way so that we can see what things are like before moving on to some real targets later on. So with that, if everybody would go ahead and use the flagpole, teleport to AIT FTX 2.
A nap.
Real quick, Versing or Vex, one of you guys switch on out to a Grenadier loadout real quick.
You do it, Vex. I'm terrible with grenades.
Yep, I'm decent with grenades.
Alrighty. If everybody's good to go, Alpha, you want to take us out west-southwest, direction of the start marker, squad column?
Copy. Alpha, wedge heavy left, west southwest.
Bravo, we're gonna go wedge heavy right. West south.
Jackie, you're very quiet.
It's probably because he's streaming.
No, it shouldn't be because of that.
No, it's a meme. You are kind of quiet, but you know, putting a little balls in your voice will help you get that audible up.
No, but
Said
seriously,
wedge.
he is quieter than he normally would.
Called wedge heavy right, so Archie, you gotta be on my left.
Okay.
Contact southwest.
300 meters out.
Forgot that every radio I have is as loud as.
You know you can you can touch lower headset, Vex.
Alright. Alpha,
Yeah.
pull back about 50 meters northeast, 20 meters northeast, behind the bluff a little bit. Bravo, push back about 25 meters east.
Bravo moving back 25 meters east.
Alrighty.
Keep your security.
Alright, Alpha, hold here.
Geki, once you're satisfied with security, you want to gaggle up on us?
Yep. Alright, you guys hold security. I gotta talk to FL.
Alrighty. Green Geki, open your maps.
Yep.
Alrighty, we are at AIT FTX2 over here, roughly standing here. We're gonna backtrack off the hill here and move across the road like this. The road's in the open, so no need for a danger crossing here. We'll just head straight over. Let's have Alpha, you keep moving around the hill like this to the AP. Move as far as you can with the concealment and just call it out when you get there. And Bravo, why don't you break off right around here and head up to the SBF.
Sounds good.
Awesome. With that,
Copy,
Alpha,
sorry, I didn't see the last part. So you want Alpha to take the northern route and Bravo to take the southern route?
Correction. Alpha take the southern route, Bravo take the northern route.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Alpha will be the assaulting element for this one, Bravo will take the SBF.
Gotcha.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Ready when you are.
Alpha, you want to take us out?
Yep.
Alright,
Or-
Alpha.
Alpha, Bravo, you want to prep your prep your fire teams and we'll move out. There we go.
Alright, Alpha. Bravo, open up your maps. Alright, so we are currently at this location here at grid 118 TAC 2077-ish. We're going to be moving east, back off this hill. Then we're going to be moving south. We do have an LDA here, but we're not going to worry about it. It's clear from what intel suggests. We're going to be moving southwest-ish until we get to the SBF marker, which will move northwest onto the SBF rocks. Alpha is going to be moving to the AP position behind us. ORP will be just to the south of our SBF position on Hill 162.
Actual Alpha.
Everyone clear?
Alpha actual, send it.
Ready to move.
Bravo, good to go.
Everyone clear on what we're doing, guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, Alpha,
was
take
good.
us out east. What call?
We're just going to start with wedge heavy left. Sorry, wedge heavy right. East.
Alright. We're going to
Bravo.
go wedge heavy right. Bravo.
Geki.
Shift
Jordan's
south.
being a douche.
Who?
Jordan.
Oh, okay.
He found a bug on TAC 2, but he won't tell me what it is.
Bravo, go ahead and give me an echelon right.
Why, Geki? Why do you do this to me? Not gonna walk uphill because you want to do an echelon right.
Yep.
Alpha adjusting for southwest.
Chitter.
Pop quiz. Why did I put you guys in echelon right?
Because it puts us in cover, so we're not branching out to the left out in the open.
And
It was a moth, wasn't it?
yes.
Because
Bit more
it's
to that.
a quicker way to get into a line.
Yes. So our contact is to our right, to the west-southwest-ish. So what we want to do is put all our firepower, since we know that it's over there, to the right side of this echelon from where we're traveling. That means we can easily establish that line formation onto target. Alright, so reference southwest hill. We see the rocks on top seen?
Seen.
That's our SBF point. Kind of where that flag is too.
Actual Alpha, be advised, crossing road now.
Between you and me, would this be too close?
What for? Yeah, this
For
is
an
way
echelon?
too close for an echelon.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was
Still want to
figuring.
maintain at least 15 meters between people. Alright, we're going to pick up the pace just a tad here. LDA.
Alpha, go ahead and continue on the twisty path over to AP. Bravo, break off at your leisure, over.
Copy that, Bravo breaking off here in a minute or two.
You guys talked over each other.
Wrap around the hill, Alpha, until you get to the AP.
Lee, this is Alpha. We have a flag, hilltop, south-southwest, about 200 meters out.
Yes, there is a scene on that hill. What's the question on the hill, over?
Bravo breaking off to SPF. Alright, Bravo moving to SPF. Right about there-ish.
Hey, Geki, could you point again? Awesome. Trying to get a couple of screenshots.
Gotta make them grad posts look good.
Yeah, awesome.
Go get your forum picture.
Bravo, shake it out into a line. Heavy right. Alright. We are here. We're gonna go ahead and orient a little more west-northwestish to where our contact is. And we're gonna go ahead and get established up here. Keep a small profile, don't expose ourselves till we're ready to shoot. But let's get up on this rock formation here. There we go. So, contact's over there. Alright, so get in a nice firing position, fellas. Don't shoot just yet. Alright, reference road, left of compound, right at the crest. Seen? Where it disappears, where the two rocks are on each side of the road. We're gonna call that Crest Hill. We're gonna call that Road Crest. Reference road, right side of the compound, where the stop sign, where the sign is. Seen?
The sign. Seen? We're
gonna call that road sign. Reference Rocky Hilltop, northwest of compound, right of road crest. Seen?
Seen.
We're gonna call that Rocky Top.
Rocky Top.
All right. Range to Rocky Top is 364. Range to road crest is 372. Range to road sign. Whoops. Range to road sign is 248. Range to target compound is approximately 237. Grenadiers, go ahead and range out to 250.
We're taking a short
and
stand break.
go ahead and load HE to get ready to fire.
Roger. Once you guys get over to the AP, call it out and we can open up. Out.
Alright, so Grenadier, I want you to hit just behind the little outpost building. AR, the two guys to the right of the outpost building are yours. Rifleman, make sure we're keeping 360, but if you have chances to engage, I want you to engage the two guys to the left of the compound. Cool.
Geki, which two guys? Are you talking about the ones in the bunker or the ones directly just
to the right of the bunker. To the right of the bunker.
Okay.
Range to bunker.
Range to bunker is going to be 210.
210, Roger.
Alright, so here's what's going to happen. Vex is going to shoot first as our Grenadier. Once his grenades impact, then we're going to all open up. Cool? Cool?
Sounds good.
Alright. That's all. We're ready to go whenever you're ready.
Bravo, open fire.
Open up, guys.
40.
Hi, it goes low on 40s. There's two more out there.
40.
Bravo, actually, advised not to stop.
AR, rapid rate, rapid rate. Lift fire, lift fire.
Reloading.
AR, watch Rocky Top. Make sure nothing comes up on that.
Pushing Rocky Top.
Archer, check rear.
Alpha, actual over.
Alpha actual, send it over.
We arrived at the objective. All enemies have been taken care of. Do you want us to clear the buildings as well?
Negative Alpha, looks clear from here. Go ahead and make your way back to ORP, over.
Copy, moving to ORP direct. Time now, out.
Alpha Bravo, while we're on the move here, prep some ace reports.
Alright, ace report, guys. Ammo, medical, anything?
I've
One
got.
mag used. Better than that, we're fine.
Texas green.
I used 2 mags.
Cool. Alright, we're good.
Got 4
Actual
mags left.
Bravo is green, green, green.
Roger, Bravo. Friendly's coming in from the south, northwest.
Friendly's coming in northwest, guys.
Actual Alpha is green, green, green.
Roger that, Alpha.
Units, be advised, friendlies approaching SBF marker and ORP from northwest.
Eyes on friendlies. Friendlies coming in. Alright, everybody. Let's get fire team files on the flagpole to the southeast.
Alright, fire team file on the flagpole to the southeast, Bravo.
Sorry, we're doing 13 flagpole.
Alrighty, folks. Quick AAR. Staff Sergeant Green, could you explain for us the complexities of what happened there?
Sorry, the complexities?
Not at all. So that was pretty rough cut, nice and simple. One team was in contact at the beginning. We made a plan, backtracked. One team served as the SBF, and the other one as the assault position. We reorganized, got ace report sent out. Pretty textbook, nice, clean, and simple. So, with that said, I think this makes some good sense. Let's go ahead and move straight on to live fire on live hostiles. This next portion's actually going to have some real baddies for us to shoot at, so does anybody have any questions before we move on to the real good stuff? Awesome. In that case, go ahead and take the teleport to AIT FTX3.
Alright, re-up on 40 mags, guys, as needed.
Yep, replenish mags, ammo, all that good stuff.
Who did that? Who pinged?
No one.
Alrighty. Oh, stop pinging me. Alrighty, Bravo's going to take us out this time. Bravo will take the front. So, Bravo, if you want to lead us in a squad column, direction of the start marker, east-southeast.
Copy that. Let me grab some 40s real quick. There we go. Alright, Bravo, we're moving east-southeast. Go ahead and give me a wedge heavy left.
Beautiful, guys.
LDA front, but we're not going to worry too much about that.
Eyes on an outpost directly ahead of us.
Hold on the radio. Short halt.
Actual, this is Bravo. Contact outpost 250 meters east, southeast.
Shots, Bravo, open fire, rapid.
Bravo, open up,
Alpha,
rapid rate.
move, north, northeast, 50 meters.
Range 300, range 300. Push the cover.
Alpha, once you're set and covering, Bravo, bound past Alpha northeast.
Alpha set, covering.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Moving northeast. Bounding past
Copy that. Bravo, bounding movement north-northeast. Go ahead and get whoever's to my right. I'm moving northeast.
Alrighty.
Next versing hold, cover. Archer with me, moving northeast.
Yeah, put another one on the right side of that.
Geki, take it. Alpha here, moving to the house, okay?
Bravo, continue moving northeast.
Continuing.
Actual, this is Bravo. You want to move to the AP marker or the AP marker?
Bravo, move to the AP marker and start putting fire on the objective.
Copy that. Alright, moving to the AP marker right here at this building.
Max.
Dog, am I blind? Well, I'm not seeing no markers.
Listen, do you have enough
I'm not
ammo?
seeing any other. Can you repeat that?
Do you have enough ammo? I have a spare belt for you.
Bravo, continue shooting at the compound there. Sustained rate.
So, Alpha, get yourself set up on marker SBF. Once you're set, Bravo will go ahead and assault from their position using smoke. Alpha, Bravo, hawk off.
Bravo copies. Rifleman, slow down, sustained rate.
Reloading.
Alpha actual, send it.
Alpha is in position at SBF, suppressing, air suppressing the objective.
Copy that. Bravo, go ahead and move up.
Bravo on me, line formation, we're pushing this tree line, and then we're going to hit the compound from the right side of it.
Smoke out.
Make sure we get smokes prepped. Prep smoke.
I don't have smokes, GG.
Use your 40 mic smokes.
Oh, I do, but it's my backpack. That's bugged.
You got smoke in your bag.
Yep.
Alright. Bravo, move.
Bravo moving.
Rush. Get another set of smokes prepped. Smokes out. Rush. Prep frags.
Alpha, this is actual. Approaching with Bravo on the northwest side of compound. Left fire.
Copy, shifting fire.
Alright. Get frags up over this wall. Frag out, southeast.
Frag out.
Frag out.
Alright, proceed south. Get around.
Frag out.
Reloading.
Get frags out.
Actual Alpha, flash. We have 2 times UAD moving on the road east of Bravo.
Push in, go left.
Copy that, Bravo. Push in. Alpha, put some fire on
You
it.
said in left, Lamar.
Okay, guys, compound clear. Get your eyes east, northeast.
Oh no, I'm
New
stuck.
contacts.
Visual.
Get them trained on it.
Bravo, we've got more contacts to the east. Reference gases. Get 40 mics on those gases. Range 220.
40.
AR, engage. Rapid range.
Reloading.
40.
Keep up the 40s.
Alpha, this is actual. Bravo's putting fire on those contacts. We got a pretty clear eye. Can you make your way down the hill and assault through them over?
Copy, we already started falling out north. We're now traveling east to the contact.
40.
Copy that.
Right side tree line from last target location.
Reloading.
Eyes on friendlies.
Bravo,
Reloading.
shift fire right tree line from the on our side of the road.
Shift fire right to line.
Sustained rate.
I'm out of ammo. Okay.
Actual Alpha reached the northernmost vehicle.
Alpha, actual. Copy that.
Vex, I got hang on, let me use
Second vehicle should be about
I'm getting patient mags in my
70
bag for you.
meters to your south. Over.
or regular mags in my bag for you here.
Actual Bravo, we're approaching second vehicle, shift fire.
Bravo, lift fire. Bravo, lifting fire. Alright, re-up on mags and ammo if you need to.
You say you have no ammo?
Redistribute it.
That was Vax, not me. Don't confuse me with Vax. I don't have a lot.
Okay.
Actual Alpha.
I've got spare ammo.
Alpha, actual. Send it.
Second vehicle also clear. You want us to push back to Bravo?
Affirm. Move to original objective location with Bravo.
Copy, moving.
Alright. Alpha, Bravo, go ahead and prep some ace reports while we do that.
How are we on ammo across everybody?
Checking ammo now.
Actual Alpha is
More
green.
box, about halfway
Actually, no,
through
I'm
this
yellow
one,
now.
so yellow. Ammo.
I'm yellow.
Roger that, Alpha. Green.
Actual Bravo
There you go.
is yellow, green.
Copy that, Bravo.
There you go, person.
White grenade smokes.
Thank you.
I wonder if it'd be possible to script something to prevent them from bouncing so much.
Ace is already doing something for that.
It's not doing it good enough
Friendly's
because
coming
it
in
bounces
east.
like crazy.
Friendly's east.
Yeah, they don't have it in right now, but they're working on something for it.
Yellow and ammo means like a little bit pure. But down it is amber and red. Or black, sorry.
Alright, let's get some fire team files over here on the west side.
Bravo fire team file on the west.
Alrighty, beautiful folks.
There you go.
So that was a little more exciting than last time. Let's just do a quick fire team leader AAR, starting with Alpha. What do we see there?
Alpha had pretty good eyes from our location over there, I believe. What was lacking a little bit was hard cover, but I think we mitigated that issue quite effectively by just using the terrain. Specialist Dunn, I believe, was very quick in spotting out the UAZs that were approaching, the sort of QRF capacities of the enemy. We were originally a little bit locked down in terms of what our next moves were, but we identified the issue quickly that we need to drop down north again, get behind the hill, moved up, and then we're easily within engaging range.
Awesome, awesome. And Bravo, what did it look like from y'all's perspective?
Bravo saw contact first and then received fire from the location. You set up reactor contact and engaged at a rapid rate, picking off quite a lot of the guys. Then we moved to the AP point, which we had some pretty decent cover there that may have been better used as an SBF, but just from where we were, it ended up working pretty well. That we had good defilade as far as terrain and tree coverage to push up onto this objective and frag the hell out of it, basically. Good use of the 40 mics and good rapid rates on the machine guns helped us win a lot of the firefights here. And then good shifting fire versus lifting fire when we supported Alpha's movement down at the gases.
Awesome, awesome. And of course, the thing to reinforce with this one here, when we started there, it was a little hectic, but one team turned into the SBF and the other took on the assaulting element. And what you notice is later on, after we'd originally taken out this contact, another contact showed up. And the SBF and assaulting elements traded jobs. The SBF became the assaulting element, and the old assaulting element became the new SBF, because that's where their eyes were best used. And this is the sort of thing you're going to have to do all the time. Remember, be flexible in whatever job that you happen to be doing, whether it's as the assaulting element or the support by fire element at the direction of the squad leader, because you're going to have to switch back and forth between them in the field, sometimes on the fly, like this. So I think pretty good exercise there. We're going to go ahead and we're just about an hour and 15 minutes in. So anybody want to go ahead and take a 5-minute break? Let's do that. 1 second. Let me go ahead and teleport us to our next starting location. Wait one. All right, beautiful. It is 45 past on my clock. We will begin at 50 past on the clock. So feel free to use the restroom, get yourself more coffee, drink whatever you need doing. We'll start at 50 sharp. If you leave your keyboard, kindly crouch for me and stand up when you get back.
Green rearming HE, black on them.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get some coffee.
Is everyone gone?
Geki, are you AFK?
No, what?
So I'm reading up on some server. I'm reading up on some like Arma server performance recommendations, I guess you would say. And they kind of list in this article. They listed a bunch of. It's referencing Epoch servers or Arma 3, but it says here it lists a couple of different things. So. Says currently the thoroughly tested recommended max settings for cars on an Epoch server is 150. The max amount of buildables is 1500, and the max amount of container content is 1500. This is the default settings in Epoch and is what makes it possible for a server like Melly's to run 100 clients connected with little to no issues. Yes, there will be struggles to find vehicles, blah 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 blah, nothing to do with what we do, but I think what we will do is we'll do a quick, because right now from what I understand from my section leader is that the server performance for TAC 2 isn't the greatest. At the same time, there are some bugs with, or like there's continuous bugs with the permission system for vehicles and such. Which, by the way, I need to do a quick. I'm gonna have to do a quick patch on issues with permissions because apparently Apollo can no longer get into vehicles for some reason. I don't know what that issue is. I haven't really touched that issue, so I guess I'll have to look into it and see how Boyan changed the settings.
Alright, for those of you that are already back, let's go ahead and switch up our loadouts. So ARs, grab some Grenadier Riflemen, and Riflemen, go ahead and grab some ARs. Let's get a little practice with other weapons platforms.
Oh, by the way, SOI lead says hi.
Hello.
He's currently watching the stream.
Alright guys, one mic. Hopefully my coffee will finish brewing by then.
Hopefully.
It's really necessary equipment.
God, Lacobe out here is just pumping out this campaign jungle gauntlet missions in the S3 Arma 3 Ops staff.
I saw that.
I think he took all my time slots too.
Hey Geki, do you stream a lot?
I'm gonna try to stream a lot more.
Why don't you join S5 with all the streaming you're doing?
Because the content on my channel, and I don't use Twitch to stream.
Coffee in hand, that's 50.
I refuse to use Twitch to stream.
1 liter of coffee, ready.
Alrighty.
Yeah, if they come over to YouTube and let YouTube stream.
Everybody stand up. Beautiful, we're all here. Alrighty, I hope everybody switched your weapons platforms, so we're going to have exactly the same thing as last time. We're going to have a nice and wet run with nice and wet targets ready to be shot at your command. So let's go ahead and have Alpha take us out this time. We'll just move out of this complex in a squad file and fletch it out into a column once we get a little space. So Alpha take us out in the squad file.
More, real quick, grab a auto rifleman loadout in the box.
Okay.
Alrighty.
You want us then to follow the direction of the start marker?
Yep.
So out there and follow the direction.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the gate's over on the north side here. So once we get out,
me. We're doing a wedge heavy, right?
Bravo, we're gonna go wedge heavy left. So go ahead and get situated first before we step off here.
Wedge heavy right.
Wedge heavy left. Alright. Alright, let's step out. pick up the pace just a tad so we can close the distance.
A short halt.
Diversing. Does Geki ever make you Monka S?
Yes, he does this plenty. Scared.
Do you know what it means? Did you pass BIT?
Wedge heavy left.
I don't know, how did I
First thing, wedge heavy left. Wedge heavy left. First thing.
Listen, listen.
Monka S. Monka S.
Wow, these guys are blind. Wow, you guys are blind. Well, guys, if you see something, say something.
Well, I see a flag to the left, but that doesn't mean shit.
Contact!
Alpha,
Northeast,
rapid
contact
fire, northeast.
Kick it out to the left a tad. There's rocks.
Bravo, sprint across the road, northwest. Take those buildings.
Bravo takes the buildings north.
I don't have smoke grenades because they are broken. Fuck my life. This game is busted.
It's set up just past the building here. There's some half walls. Past the building to the half. Vex, hold the corner.
Bravo, once you can take over fire, you're gonna be the SBF. Call it out.
Reference the white smoke. Contacts at that white smoke. Range 200. 200 to 220. Get some 45s out. Rapid rate. Rapid rate. Bravo set at SBF. Come on, baby. Rapid
Reloading.
rate, guys. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. You have to keep Copy. Alpha is moving on this side of the target objective.
Reloading.
Grenadier, if you got white smoke rounds, put white smoke rounds on those bunkers.
Okay, doing so.
Bravo, lift fire, take over
Bravo,
watch.
lift fire.
Make sure you get that guy in rear.
Alright. Archer, make sure get on the corner of this building. Watch our rear, southwest road.
Okay. What the fuck? That's busted.
First thing, watch this hill area over here in case anything pops up on us. Vex, keep eyes on that area over there.
Contact rear!
Contact rear! Contact rear.
Description is a enemy the
Put your
vehicle.
fire on it.
Vehicle.
Just fire on it. Just fire on it. Engage. Range 200. Range 200.
Alpha, actual, let's go. The message.
Double time it back to Bravo's position. We have new contacts to the southwest. Over.
Copy, we're making our way.
Archer, take the AT stick. I want you to hit that. Range 200. Archer, AT stick on the ground. Range 200. Hit him.
Right here.
Yeah.
Loading. I'm gonna get on the other side of this building with the person.
AT.
Somebody else, right here on the ground. Right here on the ground. Grab that.
Actual, Alpha, there's a small structure to our immediate west so we can take cover. Should we do that?
Alright, reference the road point right
If
there.
you move a little bit
In between the
northwest,
two
you can
points.
come
Yeah,
in
vehicle
behind
come by
Bravo.
that.
Over.
Copy. You're
Okay,
back
copy,
west.
will do.
Bye.
Alright, Getty.
Yep.
Move a little left.
Moving left. Bravo, we're moving left slightly.
Okay, you see this blue house over there, the blue-white house?
Yep.
When Alpha gets here, they're going to be a little stamina starved, so I'm going to send y'all up there. When Alpha gets here, they'll take your position, okay?
Copy that.
Alpha's arriving 7.
Alright, Bravo, go ahead and push it up.
Bravo, we're pushing up
Alpha set
west.
up at the retaining wall here.
There's a blue house to the west. We're pushing up towards that. Get smokes out to the southwest if you have smokes.
I'm gonna do one of these real quick just so I have smokes. Switch to the smoke grenade. Jesus Christ.
Echelon left while we move.
Bravo, when you're in position, call it, and Alpha will get on the move.
Oh, my leg's asleep.
Pick up the pace a tad here, guys.
Look it up with an alarm clock.
Oh, you right.
Yeah, I just smashed an alarm clock on there.
Archer, get that
Eyes.
AT stick. Range 120.
120.
Bravo set. Range 120.
Alpha, move out.
Alpha moving.
You're gonna backblast the wall. Come out at the left a little bit. Clear his backblast, guys.
Clear.
You're clear.
Firing.
What? It went through it. God, that was laggy.
Same thing
Holy.
that happened to the BTR, mate.
My ears are ringing today, even though I've got earplugs in.
That's because you just shot an AT-4. Go ahead, dump it, and switch to your rifle. Bravo's pushing up on our left.
Alpha, you monk.
Alpha, whatever.
Overwatch. Get 360.
Yep, keep up the 360, guys.
Keep up to 360, then goes into Zeus. Okay.
Actual, Alpha.
Alpha, actual, send it.
Objective is clear. We got security due southwest.
Copy that, Alpha. Go ahead and move back to Bravo's position, over.
Copy, diverting to Bravo direct. Actual Alpha.
Alpha, actual, send
Keep
it.
up the 360, guys. Keep
Ace
up
as
the
follows.
360
Alpha is green, green, green.
Copy that, Alpha. Bravo, you want to send one?
Friendly's approaching south.
Bravo is green, green, green.
No, the fuck Bravo's not. You didn't even ask me. I'm almost out of ammo again, Geki.
But,
Oh, you need to lurk on your ammo conservation then, man.
All this suppressive fire BS.
You've got another mag in your backpack now.
Alrighty, let's get some
Thank
fire
you.
team files. Index here.
On me.
Fire team file.
Alright, beautiful. Pretty similar setup to last time. Let's just do a quick couple of fire team lead AARs. Alpha, what happened there?
Alpha got under contact rather late because of the poor visibility due to the trees. When we did get under contact, we were able to suppress the enemy quite effectively. In the beginning phases of the attack, we were then able to push on as Bravo held the SPF. On a personal note, these bunkers that you see down there, they're a little bit tricky to breach if there's still enemies lying down inside them. I would personally treat it like the corner on a street, pieing around it. We had some trouble breaching those. On the second engagement, when we came under contact, we were a little bit exposed out in the open. It was a bit tough for us to cross into safe terrain again. But again, towards the end, we were able to push direct, and thanks to the excellent sustained fire from Bravo, we met nothing but corpses at the second objective.
Awesome. And Bravo, what did it look like from y'all's perspective?
Bravo actually, I saw the objectives through the trees a little bit, the two bunkers there, but obviously that's because of insider knowledge on how this course works. But yeah, so make sure when we are moving that we look through trees. You can see through some of these trees and whatnot. Use that to your advantage when we're moving. But aside from that, Bravo pushed up to their SPF location, established effective fire. We need to work on our sustained and rapid rates as far as our fire rates, so we're conserving ammunition a little bit better. That's something that the guys can go through with their SLs and they can discuss as time goes. The react to contact for the additional hostiles was great. I should have pitched that AT4 to Archer a bit sooner so we could get a little bit of AT action in there. But yeah, aside from that, everything engaged pretty well. We slaughtered the guys up here pretty quickly and moved up to this house. That way, so we had a good overwatch on Bravo as they moved, or on Alpha as they moved.
Beautiful. Alrighty, so as all of that said, nice and straightforward, and of course, just like before, we need to be nice and flexible, because the rear element here in Bravo's case had something come up in the rear, and so we did a little bit of double duty as, Alpha recovered a little stamina, while Bravo moved up a little bit, and then Alpha was finally the moving element that assaulted. So, just remember, your section leader and all of their experience is going to be the person that can dictate how that's going to work. Your fire team leaders will get you in on where you need to be, but just be flexible and remember, at any given moment what your job happens to be, and everything will turn out great. So with that said, we have one more FTX that we can do. You'll want to go ahead and run through it real quick. Yeah. All right. Looks like we're doing pretty good on time. So we'll go ahead and just do FTX 5. Let me go ahead and TP us to the start point.
What's up, Scotty? No one get the Star Trek reference?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's Star Trek?
I thought it was,
said beam me
Haven't
up.
seen it.
I thought it was Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
Let's beam me up.
You don't want to know.
Alright, go ahead and restack your mags, get new equipment, whatever you need. We're going to have Bravo take us out this time. Direction of travel is going to be due southeast in a squad column.
Archer, go ahead and plop an AT4 on yourself real quick.
Give myself another freaking mag this time.
Alright,
Don't want
Alpha,
another issue like
once
last
you
time.
have your gear, drop a little bit back to the northwest and form up a wedge.
I'll take an extra mag for you if you want.
Left
Max.
on me.
I have like
I'll-
8 mags now, so I'm good.
Switch around.
I also have an extra mag for that.
Yeah, but you're gonna have an extra 80 pounds.
What? Well, it's like an extra 5, what?
Alright,
I'm
everyone good?
used to carrying
Bravo,
heavy
we good?
weights. Mustang.
Gucci.
Cool. Bravo's
All
ready to
right.
move?
Yeah.
Alpha ready to move?
Alpha ready
Sorry,
to move.
I-
Alpha will
Bravo,
go
take
in
us
there.
out.
Bravo, we're going southeast towards those rocks. So go ahead and give me a wedge heavy left.
Okay.
And remember, guys, if you have contact with the enemy, if you see it, call out your 3Ds over the radio so everybody can hear it.
Yeah, perfect. You always wanna mirror the wedge, but you wanna like be the opposite of the other wedge. So if they have their AR on the left side, we have our AR on the right side.
Pressure double tap C.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey, Geki.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, never mind. I'll ask you that later because it's not part of this. It has nothing to do with this course.
Contact
Careful with our
front.
skyline.
Infantry.
Contact front infantry 230 meters out.
Short halt.
Vex is watching northeast.
Alpha, get rear security handled and come up and meet with actual.
Never mind.
All right. Just a patrol on the road there.
Yep, just patrolling the road.
Yeah.
Hard cover. Make sure you hard cover.
Right now they're moving right to left relative of our position.
What's up?
Alrighty. On the other side of this rock on the road, traveling northeast, we've got a squad patrol. Let's open up our maps here.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on this side here. Let's go ahead and have Alpha. I think you've got less guys. You're going to take the SBF marker, so kind of snake around the hill here and move to SBF. Bravo, do the same movement and try to use concealment to get down to this point here at AP.
Gotcha. Cool.
Alright, if you want to brief your guys, and since that's pretty close to each other, feel free to go ahead and move once you're
Alright,
ready.
Bravo,
Let's
open your
call
maps.
ORP at the start point.
Good copy.
Alright, so
Alright, Alpha.
Bravo's objective and how we're going to move is we're going to basically break off from here. We're going to go a little bit this way. We're going to break into here, and then we're going to push the road and establish contacts. We're going to treat it as an LDA. So watch left, watch right, and we're going to basically push through, and we'll LOA right at here-ish. That'll be our LOA. Sound good, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Actual Alpha.
Alpha, actual, listen to.
Alpha's in position at the SBF. Distance to target roughly 250 to 300 meters.
Beautiful. Bravo, feel free to move to the AP at your convenience and call it out when you get there. Over.
Alright, cool. You guys ready to move? We got our smokes all situated in our vests and all that shit.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've
Good
got
thing you said
15
that.
smokes.
I love I love that feature of having to drop your backpack and put it back on to get all your smokes ready. It's a really good idea.
Alright, so let's go ahead and move on out. We're going to keep it on a line once we break out of these trees. Actual Bravo's moving.
Bravo, actual, roger, out.
In the specific mission file now.
I have that in all these courses for some reason.
Really?
It might be older versions of C-scripts, maybe. I don't know.
This is a pretty old version of C-scripts. That's why you're all wearing scrim helmets, unlike what usually is for the Charlie Company loadouts, which is what these slots are.
Oh, that's right, because only like FTLs and squad leaders wear these helmets.
Nope.
That's what they've been wearing for the last couple of weeks. Like, that's what they Contact.
Contact east, 200 meters.
We know. That's the contacts we know about.
Disregard.
What? They're on a patrol the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did you see them? What?
I called them out in the beginning, but
I couldn't see them, and I was sitting behind. I was sitting right
That's 'cause
near
you
the
were
rock.
sitting behind a rock.
That's AIDS.
Alright, rush.
Gonna get them away. Get to our position.
Alright, these guys are actually blind if they can't see this. Come on, bruh.
I've been hold face forward, not sideways.
Actual Bravo is at AP, ready for SBF.
Like these contacts.
Bravo,
If-
actual,
if this is
Roger.
alive, these contacts
Alpha
are
is
brutal to
moving
me.
to get better eyes. Once they engage, we'll call it out on the radio.
Frags, prepped.
Should we prep frags?
Nah, we should just let them sit there in our pockets.
Copy that, actual. The contacts are going to push past us, so we'll be able to push in from the rear of them and move southwest up the road, eliminating them if you want Bravo to move from the front of their formation to the back.
Affirm, Bravo. Alpha, wait for the formation to fold back in on itself in the open on the southwest side, and once that has happened, call out, open fire at your discretion. Over.
Alpha copies, standing by.
Actual, this is Bravo. Formation is past us. It looks like they're folding in on each other.
What did you say?
Alright, open up.
Alpha's opening up.
Moving line formation southwest.
Bravo, start moving in. Alpha, shift fire.
Keep it in line. Alright. Get in line. Use your shack tack.
Why are you walking?
Alright, let's
I
push it.
hate you.
Push it. Clear the bodies. LOA at that building to our right. If we go past that building, stop.
Bravo, actual, flash.
You have a technical coming down the road from the southwest. Move off of the road northwest into cover. Over.
Bravo, strong point on the building. We have a technical coming into our southwest.
Bravo, did you copy that? Over.
Yep, Bravo copies. We're strong pointed in.
Visual. Coming quick.
Archer, prep AT. Hold the corner.
Target went off the road to the southwest. Behind the bush, bearing 228.
Alright.
Reloading.
Archer, you and I are going to push across the street to this bush over here, and we're going to see if we can hit that. Let's go. Let's sprint. Yeah, I got eyes on the vehicle.
Maintain fire on the objective over there. Alpha's going to maneuver to our southwest to get better eyes, and then you guys can assault through it. Over.
You got eyes on it? Whoa.
Bravo, I say again, Alpha is moving to a better SBF position so y'all can push through the contact. Over.
Copy that.
What did he do?
Hit low, we hit low. Bravo, keep up 40 mics. Raise 200. Sustained rate.
Bravo, Alpha is taking over fire support. Go ahead and push up to the contacts. Over.
Bravo, on me, left side of the road, pushing up in a line formation. Let's go. Loading. Smokes out front.
Fucking head ass bush.
Bravo, actual, you pushing up. Over.
Bravo's moving. Keep up that line. Keep up that line. Smoke out. Alpha, go ahead. Lift fire. Lift fire. Keep it up online. Walk it slow so we can shoot and move accurately. Spread out this line a little bit, guys. We're way too close to each other. Alright, LOA just past the vehicle and that tree line. Kick up the pace just a tad.
Executed. Do I get a bronze star?
Bravo, go ahead and strong point the road down there. Alpha's making its way down to you. Over.
Copy that. We're pushing to the tree line just west of the west of the vehicle. Yep.
I have ability to destroy this vehicle now.
Don't worry too much about it. All right, push the tree line, and we're gonna hold it there. Alpha's gonna push
I have an
up towards us.
RPG 26.
That's called stealing.
Actual, this is Bravo. We are currently on yellow smoke
Crossing fire.
At the tree line just west of the vehicle.
Bravo, actual, roger that. Alpha and I are moving to your position from the north. Out.
Yeah, okay. Do you want me to destroy or not?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay. Covering northwest.
Alright, friendly's coming in from the north. Friendly's coming in from the north.
Bravo, this is Alpha, your friend is coming in from the north.
Copy that, Alpha.
Friendly's passing through. Crossing possibly many lines of fire. Sorry.
Alrighty, guys.
Many
And
lines of fire.
fire team files over here southeast.
Fire team
On me.
files southeast.
Alright, beautiful. That was the last one of the day. So, not sparing any horrific details there. I think all of you got a pretty good idea of what's been going on. We were moving up to the hill there, we encountered the enemy on the road. So Alpha took up a support by fire position where Bravo moved down to assault. Then we had a technical come down the road. Remember, the people at the SBF position have Overwatch and saw that. And so we were able to engage them far away from Bravo, and then Bravo could make their way up to it after Alpha repositioned. Nice and textbook. So today we've gone over hasty attacks, how to conduct them, what we need for the SBF and for the assaulting element. Does anybody have any questions before we conclude today? Alrighty, then with that, congratulations all. You have completed Advanced Individual Training. The training you received today will enable you to be a critical link in the success of your unit, company, and battalion. I'm going to go ahead and link all of you two things. The first is going to be a survey. You are dismissed once you complete that survey. It's just a survey to help reinforce good practices in the School of Infantry. That's coming out here over TeamSpeak. The second link I will send you will be the Field Battle Drills Manual, which covers everything that we went over in this course and more. It's probably the most useful manual in the CAV. So give me just a second. Just once you complete the survey. Survey coming out.
He's disconnected.
Hello, everybody. I've got listed there the survey. Once you complete it, you're dismissed. Second link there is the battle drills manual for everybody, and thanks all for coming out, especially Green and Geki.
Why, of course.